Hello guys, welcome. My favorite dish is being cooked today. Plantain with beans. Ghana we say red. Welcome to my channel if this is your first time stopping by. If you already subscribed, thank you so much for coming back. If you haven't, please hit the red button below, hit the bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Please follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On this channel, I'll be showcasing my lifestyle, which includes my business. My favorite thing to do is cooking and eating, and everything, not everything, but a little window into my world. Welcome to this channel. Let's get cooking. So for the beans today, we'll be adding a little flavor of some smoked turkey neck or turkey neck. So we're going to cook our turkey neck for a little bit so it can get a little softer. Now, since the turkey neck normally has salt in it, I will not be adding any salt, but only some diced onions, one diced onion, of course, and some garlic. Just season it. On the background, you can hear Akwabwa, one of my favorite musicians in Ghana. If you have a chance, check his music out. I love them all. So, of course, in my kitchen, I do have herbs sitting on my counter, and that was basil that I just dropped in there. I love basil. That's the plant I'm trying to show, but the camera is too low. I have a baby basil in my kitchen, and that thing is growing nicely. So we're going to put our turkey on fire, just a little water. We don't want too much water on it because we're going to empty the whole pot into the beans when we're ready. So we don't want too much water going into the beans. Now I just put some rosemary in there as well. Now, since it's Sunday, of course, we just came from church. We don't want too much time spent on food. So I had prepped most of my things. The beans was already cooked and cooling down from the day before. So I think I should have cooked the turkey necks the day before, but I didn't. But it's okay. It's not going to take more than 45 minutes to cook this, so we are going to be just fine. So at this time, we're going to leave our meat on fire for it to cook. Whilst cooking, I do have my pot on the stove. We're going to use red oil for this bean stew. So of course, I did pour my oil into my pan. It was too hot, so of course I had to take it off the stove. So I don't set myself on fire. So I'm going to put this back on the stove after I cool down. I'm dropping my diced onions, actually sliced onions, into it. I sliced 2 large onions into it. So we're going to fry this in the oil. I love fried onions, y'all. We're going to fry this in the oil for a little bit to get a little softer or a little cooked. I love my onions in the food. And actually I heard when you overcook it or cook it too long, it loses its nutrients. So what I've started doing is actually dice onions and add it to my food when it's almost cooked as well. So we're going to cook these onions in the oil for a little bit to have them a little softer, not too done, but a little softer. Now you can also use regular oil, vegetable oil, coconut oil, soya bean oil, or whatever oil you prefer to cook this as well. It doesn't have to be red oil. So I do have some canned tomatoes that I'm going to use as well, just 1 canned tomato. And that was a medium-sized can. So that's the tomatoes that I am going to blend. I've been using one of my smoothie cups since it's small enough for the low items that I'll be blending. So I rinsed the cup and put it back into the tomatoes, and this is just regular diced tomatoes, nothing special to it. In the tomatoes, I'm going to add some pepper, habanero pepper. I love spices, y'all. So I'm going to add some habanero pepper and also some ginger. If you've watched my previous videos, you know I do say ginger, blended ginger in the fridge or freezer for quick use. I hate peeling ginger, y'all. So when I buy them in bulk, I just peel them all and blend them and store. So of course, this is the habanero pepper. It's very hot, but I think I added about 3 or 4 of them because I love my food spicy. So we're going to put ginger. I put 1 teaspoon of ginger, blended ginger, into the cup, and I added 1 tablespoon into the onions as well to fry with the onions. I have a big bowl of the ginger, y'all. Ginger is healthy for you. So make sure you keep stirring your onions whilst it's on fire. You don't want it to burn. So keep an eye on it. If the stove needs to go down, turn it down so you don't burn it. I'm checking on the turkey neck as well so we don't burn that either. So at this time I'm going to dust the onions. It's cooking very well. Not too fast, but it's cooking well. So we're going to blend our tomatoes, which has the pepper and the ginger in it. So I had a privilege of visiting Ghana about 6-7 years ago, and this was breakfast almost every day, y'all. So this is my beans that I cooked from the day before, and that was a bag, a small bag of black-eyed peas. And I don't peel my black-eyed peas. I just cook the whole bag. So I had some salted fish, which is Kobe, that I just put in there. If you need to see a video of how I made the Kobe, please comment below. I don't think I've posted a video yet how I made my Kobe. But the video is coming soon. So I just put my Kobe in there and I'm going to fry it with the onions. At this time the house is smelling delicious. I love the smell of the Kobe in the stew. So we're going to keep stirring or keep cooking the onions at this time. That's the Kobe in there. It smells good, y'all. aha no sanka wo ye nkontomre froya nanka wahwie enguya gusuyo. So delicious. I love food, yo. One of these days, I think I'm going to make some spinach and just with those fry the onions with the Kobe and just pour it on top. Oh my goodness. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about right now. So we're going to pour the blended tomato, pepper, and the ginger into the pan, into our oil. And the smell, yo, the smell is so delicious. Now, this sauce without the beans can be cooked enough for 2 Afri stew. Or you can actually eat it just like that with eto, banku, or whatever. It's either fancy stew or 2 Afri stew. So basically, this stew can be used in different ways and eaten with different things. So right now we have our tomatoes in it. We're just going to cook this for it to dry up there. Of course, I had some water from there to rinse the tomato cup. So we're going to cook this a little bit to drain some of the water out or cook down the tomatoes a little bit. So we're going to leave this on fire for maybe 5 to 8 minutes to cook. You have to keep stirring so you don't burn the bottom of it as well. So you have to keep an eye on it. Now I'm going to add some season. This is shrimp powder seasoned from Ghana. That's the Remy season. So I just put 1 peck in it. I have also added my turkey neck in there as well. I just dumped the whole pot in it. It didn't have much water on the meat after it was cooked, so I just dumped the whole pot in it. And since smoked turkey necks already comes salty, I haven't put any salt beside the Remy mix that I just put in there. So we're going to leave this to cook. Now I just turned into the pot the beans that I cooked from the day before. At this time we're going to mix and taste to make sure the salt is okay. Now when I cooked the beans, I added a little bit of salt, maybe just a pinch of it. And so we're going to mix this together and let it sit on the fire to cook. Now when it's well cooked, you're going to see the oil come on top of it. So that's what we're going to wait for. I'm turning down the stove so it can slowly cook by itself. So whilst the stew is getting ready, we're going to work on our plantains. Now my best plantain are the black ones. I love, did you hear that? I love the soft plantain when it's black and somebody thinks it's rotten or it's spoiled. Oh my goodness, that's my best part. When it's soft and mushy, oh, that's the delicious part. So of course in the sink I have plantains. Normally I get them green and just leave them in my kitchen or in the garage for it to ripe. And that's because when you buy them yellow, sometimes it's been forced to ripe. So although it may look yellow, it's still not ripe on the inside. So I buy mine green and just let it take its time to ripe on its own. So I'm thinking about almost 2 weeks I've had this plantain. I bought it green, then of course you can tell some of them are turning black and some of them are yellow. So I've had them close to 2 weeks. And so I'm just going to cut these up into frying sizes, not too big because you want them to be cooked through. The smaller you cut them, the faster it cooks. So you have to be mindful of that. And of course, we're eating fried plantains with beans for dinner today. With a little bit of gari. Of course, in Ghana, when they serve it, it's served with gari. Gari is made from cassava, grounded into a dough, then dried up into powder. So that's gari. And gari can be eaten as a cereal. It can be made into fufu. People have different ways of eating it. But today we're just going to add, we don't eat a lot of gari in this house. So we just, well, you see how I add the gari to the plate, just a little bit. The main dish is the beans and the plantain. So right now I just added some salt, sprinkled some salt onto the plantain just to season it. And so we're going to, there's some curry from Ghana that I love. I love the smell of that curry. And so I'm going to add some curry to the stew as well. I added about 2 teaspoons of curry into it. If you've paid attention to my videos, you see I don't really measure things. I'm just used to cooking, so I measure with my eye. But if you need to try any of these recipes, just let me know by commenting below and I can give you specific measurements of items used. Also, I don't cook on a daily basis. So most food that I cook enough to have some leftovers so we can always have snacks or something in the house to eat later on. I always have something in the house to eat, so the fridge is never empty. So as you can tell, the pot, because I love beans and I don't cook beans a lot, I will be saving some of those, taking it to work for lunch. And of course, sometimes I can eat the beans by itself, like a dip. So that's a big pot. That's gonna last maybe 2-3 days. And so we've been heating the oil for about 2-3 minutes. Now we're going to start frying the plantain. It's good to get the oil warm or hot so the plantains don't soak the oil up or sit in the oil for too long. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. I'm always counting on the numbers. Please follow me on Facebook as Inshuraba Sewa. On Instagram, I'm there as Inshuraba Sewa, or my business page, which is AfricStyle Initiatives. I have AfricStyle Initiatives where I post my business information. It's more about fashion on Facebook, on AfricStyle page. Also, I do have African cuisine page where I post more of the food that I do post here. And so when did I start cooking? I have been cooking for a while now. I just haven't been active on my YouTube page. I started a home cooking business, which was African cuisine, some years ago. And people were coming to the house to purchase as I cooked. It got to a point that I was having so many customers and it wasn't safe anymore because I had strangers coming to the house to purchase food. And so I decided to stop that business and find an outside location. But things didn't go as planned and my focus was shifted to the fashion business. The fashion worked very well for me, so of course I stopped all the cooking for customers and focused just on the fashion. So that's what I've been doing now. But of course I still do cook in the house and post on my social media pages. And sometimes my friends may ask, oh, we need to come over for dinner. We need to come over for dinner. So I said, well, let me get back on my YouTube page and start recording these videos so people can learn or see how I cook or what goes into my food, so maybe they can practice or cook on their own. And that's why I came back on YouTube to start recording these videos. That I just put in a small white bowl. That's the dried cassava that I was talking about. So we're going to just sprinkle some water on it to make it a little softer or manageable and garnish the plate with it. Now the fire under my plantain was very low because I didn't want to burn my plantains, and so it was taking a lot longer to cook. But I was very patient. I wasn't going to rush it. So of course, as you can tell, I checked on it very often, turning it over to make sure it's cooked through and on both sides. When you love food, you have patience for it, y'all. So whilst checking on the plantain, you make sure you check on your beans as well because you don't want the bottom to burn. And you want to make sure everything is cooked all the way. Me baby, I go. Me baby, I go. And the song is Gangsta Love by Aquabwa. So this was the gari that I talked about. I sprinkled some water on it, so of course it doesn't look too dry. And as I said, we don't eat much gari in this house, so I'm just gonna put just a little bit on the plate. And this is my plate I'm fixing, y'all. And of course the plantain, the soft ones that I just cooked. So for the sake of this video, that is why I am doing all this. But normally I just find a bowl, throw them all in there, put some beans on it, and we are good to go. But I just want you guys to see what goes into the plate. That's why I'm taking my time to do all this. So I'm doing this for you guys, y'all. So for the sides, we needed some nutrients, extra nutrients with it. So we have avocado. Guys, it was looking good and I was ready to eat, y'all. So we do have avocado on the side. Some people may add a boiled egg to it. Bon appetit, y'all. So this was my plate. I did make some baked chicken as well. This is one with the boiled, the boiled egg. So this was the dinner for Sunday. If you did enjoy this video, please like it, comment below, subscribe to our channel. If you're on social media, please visit all my platforms and check them out. I will be coming out with a video every week, and I would love and appreciate your subscription. Thank you so much.